In this past year, I developed a consistent workout routine, got clear skin, started making myself smoothies and eating more healthy foods, drinking water every morning. Even material things like jewelry and a more minimalist room manifested it. Why? It's because of my vision boards. Now, I won't say I achieved everything on my vision boards, but I did achieve most of it, and we'll get to the reasons why some of the goals didn't come to fruition later. If you are ready to become the best version of yourself and achieve all your goals quickly, then welcome to Mind, Body, and Beyond, a podcast where we discuss everything related to health, productivity, and mindset. So if you're interested, make sure to follow and come back on Sundays for brand new exciting content. I'm your host, Gabrielle, and today we are discussing the topic of vision boards. First, let's start with the science behind why vision boards work. This has been scientifically proven, and to understand this, we're going to have to use a little bit of neuroscience. There's a part of your brain called the reticular activating system. And this is a group of neurons that play a key role in regulating arousal, alertness, and the sleep-wake cycle. And one of its main functions is actually attention, which is going to play a crucial role in manifestation. The reticular activating system filters out unnecessary sensory input and only focuses on things that are important, which is why, for example, if you're in a crowded room, you won't pay attention if you hear somebody calling a name that's not yours, but when somebody calls out your name, you're going to turn around quickly. Another example is, let's say you're about to buy a yellow car. Then you're probably going to start seeing a yellow car everywhere. And it's not because the number of cars increased, it's just because your brain is considering this car more important since it's top of mind and you're noticing it more. Your brain is no longer filtering out that information because it considers it important. So the reticular activating system programs your brain to focus on opportunities that are related to your goal since it's now top of mind. So the whole point of vision boards is to make sure that your brain considers these goals top of mind so you'll be more aware and receptive to opportunities that are related to your goal. The second reason why vision boards work is because of visualization. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what is imagined and what is real. So, by seeing these pictures, you're putting yourself in the shoes of someone who has already achieved these things, which strengthens the reticular activating system and leads to a more effective manifestation of these goals. A common misconception with vision boards is that you can just put these pictures on your wall and then you don't have to do anything and you could just sit back and it will magically come and appear into your life. It's not going to come magically. You have to still work for it. But vision boarding reminds you of your dreams and your goals and makes you more likely to notice opportunities related to it, thanks to the reticular activating system. Okay, now that the explanation is done, let's get into the practical tips. The first one is to make it personal. So I would suggest you put pictures of you or of people that look like you so that you can actually visualize yourself achieving these goals. And it doesn't seem like something distant or something that you'll never be able to achieve. Really take the time to reflect on the goals that you want, not goals that are popularized. So I would suggest before you even start making a vision board, you should write down on a piece of paper or on the notes app of your phone the goals that you want to achieve and then be specific about it. That ties into the next point. Make it specific. The only goals on my vision board in past years that I didn't achieve were not specific. And by not being specific, I mean if you asked me to sum up what I wanted to achieve based on the picture, I couldn't make a sentence. It wasn't a clear goal. For example, I had a picture on one of my vision boards of some of my podcast episodes, but the goal of how many listeners and followers I wanted wasn't clear. So create SMART goals, and you can go back to a previous episode that I did about creating SMART goals that are more likely to be achieved. I'll link it in the description. So, okay, you want to go to the beach, but which beach, where, and most importantly, why? The why is so important because it ties in the emotion into your goal. The feeling of how you will feel when you achieve this goal, and that's super important for the manifestation. Make it realistic. Vision boards are founded on you believing that you can actually achieve these goals. If you just got out of college and want to purchase a home, don't put a mansion on your vision board, right? You have to believe that you can achieve it, because if you don't believe it, why would anyone else? Put things on your vision board that you think could realistically happen in a specific time frame. And this doesn't mean think small and don't have big dreams. This is just be realistic about it. I would say also don't fill up your vision board too much. Maybe this is just a personal tip of mine, but for me, when I see a vision board that's super crowded, my eye just swoops over the entire thing and I don't actually look at the individual goals. So versus if I have like only 20 pictures, then I'm able to actually spend time looking at the individual goals, which makes me more likely to actually achieve them. Put pictures of you doing the work to get to your goal, not only the final results. For example, I want to be able to get on the podium at this neuroscience competition. So I might put a picture of the podium, I might put a picture of a trophy or the certificate, but I'm also going to put a picture of me actively studying, because otherwise I'll be looking forward to winning this competition, but when it gets to actually putting in the work and actually studying for it, I'm not going to be as motivated to do that. Versus if I have a picture of that on the vision board, then that's sort of romanticizing the whole experience of studying and making me more likely to actually study more, which is going to lead me to get a better score on the competition. So I think if you take one thing away from this episode, it's this, that you should also put pictures of you doing the work to get to your goal and not only the final result. You can also use quotes on your vision board. It doesn't have to be all pictures. I find personally that some goals can't be fully encapsulated by pictures, especially when they're mindsets that you want to adopt. So in some cases, using quotes can be nice, and I think they look good too. They add a little bit of variety to the vision board. Make it aesthetic, but make sure the goals also actually align with you. So there's the right balance between these two. You can find pictures that are aesthetic so that it's inspiring and so that you'll want to look at it and so that you'll be romanticizing the experience, but don't just pick pictures because they match the aesthetic or because they look good. That's definitely a mistake I made before. Like I would just put a picture of a plant or something, but that didn't actually line up with a goal that I had in mind, and it was just matching the aesthetic. There's a difference between a vision board and a mood board. So if you want to have a board that sort of matches your aesthetic, matches your vibe, then that's a mood board and that's different. But I think for a vision board, every picture and every quote should actually be aligned to a goal that you have. And then obviously put it somewhere you'll see. Okay, moving on to the more practical tips. So you can make a vision board digitally, which is what I prefer to do, or you can make it physically. If you do it digitally, I recommend you use either Canva, which has lots of templates, Freeform, which I haven't personally used, but a friend told me that it was really useful and really easy to use, or Sketchbook. So I use Sketchbook, which is basically an app where you can just slide the pictures on there and then draw on it if you want. So where can you find pictures for a digital vision board? I love to use Pinterest. I think they have so many inspiring, good pictures. And a quick little tip is to type aesthetic after the word that is representing your goal, and you'll find better pictures. Now, if you have a physical vision board, where can you put it? I would say you can put it basically anywhere that you go quite often. So it can be on your desk, on your wall, in a closet, so you'll see it when you get dressed every morning, on a mirror, on your door, and if it's digital, you can put it as your background on your phone or your laptop. How often should you make a vision board? Some people do it every month, others do it every year. Personally, I do it about 4 times a year for each quarter, but it's not really structured. I just do it whenever I realize that either I've achieved most things on my vision board or I'm just feeling inspired to do a new one and I'm ready for a fresh start. So really, there's not a specific amount of time that you should wait to create a new vision board, or a specific date when you need to make it. It's really whenever you have inspiration, whenever you think that you have new goals that you should add on. All right, that's it for today. I don't think I have any other tips about creating a vision board. Hopefully you're leaving this episode inspired and motivated, and you're going to go create a vision board if you think the time is right. Thank you so much for listening to Mind, Body, and Beyond. If you have any feedback or suggestions, please leave it down in the comments. I would love to get your opinion on these podcasts and make sure that I'm actually bringing you value. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.